Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the Coding Secrets Reveal video of 2025. Here we will remove some of the major strategies which you can apply in your code in 2025. So let's move towards the strategies. So the first one is SCPS rule. So what is SCPS rule? We'll talk about it later in the video. But before then that, we have to understand what are the challenges we face during coding. So here are some challenges. What do we face very often as a coder? So basically understanding problem quickly is difficult. You are not getting the point what question is asking and what approach you should follow. And the second one is choosing the right data structure. You're not able to figure it out like coding platforms like LeetCode, like Codeforces. You're not able to figure out what data structure you should use in the solution, what strategy you should apply in the solution to get the optimal and efficient result, right? And the third one is writing optimized code takes time and practice. You're not efficient enough to write the code and practice it properly. And the fourth step is like most guides give practical strategies for improvement. There are many tutorials, there are many strategies you can follow in order to solve the question, but they're not practically implementable. And let's talk about the next. So the next is what is new in the coding 2025. First point is problems are becoming complex with tougher constraints. So because of invention of AI, because of inventions of AR, VR and automated automobiles. And the second one is the efficiency point. So efficient solutions matter more due to higher competition. So there are a lot of people and AI is available. So everyone is able to code it. Everyone able to do some sort of basic code. So here matters what? So it is the efficiency which proves you different from the crowd. So how efficient you are, that determines how practically and logically clear you are in your concepts. And the third one is the company nowadays focus on real world problem solving skills. They're not focusing on the old methodologies and they're not seeking for the employees who are not capable enough in solving the problem. They're not ready for the training. They want a future ready employee. So that's why they are focusing on the real world problem solving, rather than the old methodologies and all the pre-setups. So frameworks are also critical to excel. So now move towards the SCPS rule. What it says and what is the strategy of SCPS for this, for what I am making this video over the SCPS rule. So the SCPS rule says, first, simplify the problem. Second, choose the right data structure for your question. And the third, plan the algorithm. And fourth, move towards and solve and optimize the code, right? So we'll see the problem into each step. So now we'll see each step of the rule, right? So the first, as it states, simplify the problem. So what we have to do in the simplifying the problem, we are already simplifying the problem. So what this strategy will improve in your thinking, in your problem solving. So step one, understand the problem in simple terms, break it into. So basically you have to analyze the problem into the simple words, as simple as you can understand. And technically if we'll talk about, you have to break the problem into three major inputs, like input, output and constraints. So the first one is input. So what data do you get? You have to focus on the question, that what sort of data you are getting into that question. And the second one is output. What do you need to return? What the question is asking from you, what you have to return as an output. And third, also you have to maintain the constraints. You have to follow the constraints for the better and optimized solution. So any limits on time, space or value must be followed, right? If you won't follow the constraint, it will give a wrong output. It won't be able to pass the test cases, right? So let's, so for an example, if you'll talk about two-sum problem. So basically in that problem, input will be an array of numbers and a target sum, right? So you will be given an array of numbers and a target sum. So basically you have to meet that target sum, and output should be indices of two numbers. Those numbers should get returned as indices and add up their targets. You have to return their indices and those numbers, right? And the constraints in that problem is solve it into big O of n time if possible. For the better optimization, you have to solve that problem into big O of n. Let's move to the next step of the problem solving strategy. which is choose the right data structure. So basically how you have to choose the right data structure. While choosing the right data structure, you have to keep in your mind these 3 points. So the first point is need fast lookups. If you want to solve problem very quickly, use a hash map where you have to store the key value pairs, right? And if you figure out that you are going to handle the sequences, use arrays or linked lists. And in the last, if you think you are going to use the traversing or paths traversing, so basically you should use the graph and trees. In the some example, if you will talk about, so right data structure will be using a hash map to store a number and their indices for the quick lookup. As we talked in the previous, checking for the complement of each number can be done in big O of one time. So why we choose the hash map? Because checking for the complement of each number can be done of big O of one time. So why to waste the complexity? Why to make code more complex when we can have a better data structure? So that's the strategy of solving any problem from the SCPS rule. And the third P states plan the algorithm. So look for the algorithm which suits best for your problem. In step 3, break the solution into small steps. So first, look up through the array. And the second point is check if complement exists in the hash map. So basically if you're finding out a target value and suppose you have to meet the target 8 and you're having 5. So basically you're looking up for the 3. So find out that 3 in the hash map and make your algorithm according to that. If it is existing, choosing the right algorithm will provide a better complexity into simpler steps, right? And if yes, if that exists, return the indices. If no, store the current number and its index into the hash map and move forward. And what is the last S of the SCPS rule? It says solve and optimize. In the last, you have to write the code and improve it by optimizing it. So basically solve the problem based on your plan. Whatever you have planned, you have to follow all those strategies while solving the problem. Test edge cases like empty array, duplicate array to make it more efficient, and optimize into some problem using a hash map saves the time compared to the nested loops. If you are using 2 or 3 for loops, it will consume big O of n square or n cube complexity. So why to go and waste your time and space complexities? So the better approach is using the optimized solution. But in the brute force solution, we use 2 nested loops, right? And that generate the big O of n square complexity. Where in the optimized solution, we can have big O of n complexity using a single hash map, right? And in the last, we will focus on what we have learned through all this video. So basically, we learned about what are the challenges in the coding. So basically, we focused on what are the coding challenges, what is the new in coding, why coding in 2025 is getting tougher, and what approach you should follow is given in the SCPS rule. So kindly follow these instructions carefully and make sure that every time you are seeing a new problem, you are following these strategies in a stepwise manner. First, simplify the problem. Second, choose the right data structure. Third, plan the better algorithm. And fourth, solve and optimize. And that's how it will increase your chances in placement, interviews, and any coding competitions. So make sure you hit like and subscribe button, and see you in the next video.